This is Valerie Shultz, a candidate for Honey Brook Township Supervisor.
Valerie Shultz. It's funny. Did you see the bat signal or something? We were just talking about you with Michelle Truitt a little while ago.
We're on the same wavelength, Barry.
The most contested election, I think, supervisor election in the county out there. Oh, my God. It's like a slugfest on Facebook with you and your opponent out there.
Yes, and his illustrious spokesperson.
So how's it going? What's happening? What brings you to call?
Well, there's a lot happening in this race, as you said. I am getting great feedback from residents. They're incredibly appreciative that I'm taking the time to go door to door and speak to them, which is something my opponent is not doing. But, we both have a very different view of what's happening in our township. He seems to think that everything is just perfect as is. Status quo is the way to go. And I have a very different view on that, not putting my head in the sand and actually want to deal with the issues at hand.
What are some of the issues?
Well, first of all, our spending has been out of control the past few years. He thinks, we're doing great. We still have a surplus, but we've been dwindling down that surplus very rapidly. Our spending rate is twice that of the money that we're bringing in. And, even though we have a rainy day fund, they're banking on that to, cover our redesign of our park. We still have outstanding debt of $2.5 million for our mortgage for a township building. So there is kind of a lack of vision moving forward for how to spend that money. The other issue is, we only have state police coverage. We have one state trooper that covers our township and West Nantmeal. That's over 10,000 residents. And he seems to think, as a police officer in Upper Euclid Township, that this isn't an issue. We have no crime, but countless residents are frustrated with the prolonged response times from the state police. They're stretched way too thin. So my plan is to look at ways to supplement that coverage, not get a whole new police department, but supplement it. And then finally is just the development that's encroaching on our community. We are one of the last communities in Chester County that is not fully developed, and the developers are eyeing us up. And we have two major subdevelopments that are in the draft plan status, and the only thing that's been holding us back is sewer pipe capacity. So it's we have a lot of challenges. AI data centers, could be an issue. The anaerobic digesters. There's a lot of things that we have to deal with, and we can't just, bury our head in the sand. We have to deal with these issues and help protect our community.
Well, it's interesting. You were just talking about the police officers in there, and the anaerobic digester. I've covered that on my show, the one that happened out in Carnarvon Township or Carnarvon Township, however they pronounce it. I have no idea, but right over the border in Berks County. And I had Katie Muth on, who spoke at the hearing where they shut it down, that they changed the zoning on that, and they've since pulled their plan on that. Which is very serious, and I know you've been a big proponent of trying to get some kind of zoning going to really limit the chances of getting those biodigesters in there. But jumping back, you're talking about the opponent is a police officer in Upper Euclid Township, and you say that he thinks everything's okay out there. And you said it was how many people per state police officer? One state police officer is issued for that area out there. How much?
Over 10,000 residents. It's our township and West Nantmeal.
That's fascinating because Upper Euclid, I'm familiar with a lot of the police departments up in northern Chester County, and mostly because they're out chasing me. But they have basically one officer for every 1,000 residents in Upper Utica. Now, I don't know if you really need a cop for every 1,000. I'm not that big on that type of thing. But certainly, I think there's a sweet spot in between one for 10,000 and one per 1,000. I don't think it would be too much to do something. Were you talking about like maybe a regional thing, or what are you talking about?
Well, I think we need to look at what the options are and what fits best for our township within our budget. But there's options of either contracting out police officers from a local municipality like West Brandywine for about $200,000 a year, or we could regionalize. We've looked at those options in the past, and some people that are on the current board have, walked out on those discussions and refused to even consider any options. So there's a very firm line that people in the current administration are drawing in terms of supplementing police coverage. They don't want it at all, regardless of the cost.
Well, that's interesting, because I remember they used to have a police department way back when, and I think that ended up not so good. So maybe they're a little sore on the back end over that, but that doesn't mean you throw out the baby with the bathwater. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, I know a lot of local municipalities are struggling with the cost of having their own police force, and they are very expensive. I fully admit that, and I am not at all a proponent of getting our own police force moving forward. There's a huge cost associated with that. But I want to do better than what we currently are in terms of coverage, and in particular just response time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there has been problems with response times?
Yeah, I even when I have been out speaking to residents, one gentleman told me he has a lot of car accidents that happen right in front of his home, and police, the fire and EMS have been there, taken the individuals away from the crash scene, and state police don't get there for about an hour, and everything's already cleaned up. So it's just they're coming from the Emeryville station, and our township is huge. Mm-hmm. So it just logistically is very difficult for one state trooper to cover our entire township in West Nantmeal.
You come from Emeryville cross country. It's if you leave immediately, if you're dispatched immediately from that to get to Honey Brook, I would say it's a good, solid 35 to 40 minutes to do that.
Exactly. And they're not, state troopers aren't just sitting around waiting for work to do. They're extremely busy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, have you ever done anything like to find out what the average response time is? I mean, for the state police on that? I mean, they certainly all can't be like that.
A few years ago, I did a right to know request, and it was denied. That I filed an appeal, and that was denied as well. So, my opponent says, see, she doesn't have the data to support it. Well, he knows as a police officer
they didn't supply the data.
That it's very hard to get that data.
Well, I will tell you, I've had friends that have done right to knows with the state police, and they have been denied and had to do them on appeals, and some have been denied. Some have actually been forced to be done by the hearing or arbiter or whatever it is. But it's like pulling muscles from a shell sometimes with those guys. It's tough to get it. The state police don't like to give up information. And you got to ask, why would they not give it up if it was complementary to what they did?
Well, and the key is, it would be great to have that data so we know, when the coverage is lacking, mm-hmm. and where we have to support. Is it happening just on the weekends when, a lot of state police have their staffing at a minimum?
Sure.
Is it just during second shift, third shift? That kind of information is really important to know how we need to supplement the state police coverage to ensure that the residents are protected.
Well, we wish you luck in your campaign. You're out there knocking it out, and good luck to you. I'm sure you're probably exhausted at this point running that thing. I'm telling you, you are the buzzword out there in this whole thing that Honey Brook Township is what's being talked about as an absolute slugfest. I don't know how you got yourself into this, But good luck on this, and I hope you can pull it off.
Well, I hope the residents get out to vote on Tuesday, November 4th. And if they've already gotten a mail-in ballot, please be sure to turn that in. You want to make sure your voice is heard. Your voice matters.
It does. And actually, I was just telling Eric, as soon as I leave the station today, I'm driving across town, and I'm going to go actually vote in person at the General Services Building, the Government Services Building over on West Town Road. I'm going to pop over there and get my mail-in ballot right there and vote. So good luck to you, and let's talk to you after the election, and I hope you do well.
Thanks, Barry. Appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye.
Now, listen.